Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Every Kid Can Play podcast, the podcast that focuses on kids that might not always be seen or heard. Today, I'm super excited. Don't even know how to give an introduction to this guy. I've known this guy for more time than I haven't been alive than I have alive, and met this guy this summer before my seventh grade year, and still in my life today. Get to be on his coaching staff. So we have Coach Jason Swift. He's the head football coach, head golf coach, middle school basketball. He kind of does a little bit of everything. So I'll kind of let him talk about himself. So, Coach, thanks for coming on. Let's have you kind of talk a little bit about yourself and your journey so far.
Yeah, Matt, I really appreciate it. I appreciate everything that you do, not just as a professional, but for our community and then as a coach. The impact you make is absolutely incredible, and I am honored to be a part of this. So thank you very much. Name's Jason Swift. I'm at Shawnee Heights, been there going on my 18th year, and as Coach Duncan talked about, I coach three different sports. I coach football, boys golf, and then I've also coached middle school basketball. And this is my 18th year as a head football coach at Shawnee Heights. That's what originally brought me to Shawnee Heights, and I feel like I'm very fortunate and blessed to be a part of Shawnee Heights. I love it. I have a wonderful wife, Shannon, and three amazing daughters. So everything's good. They're part of Shawnee Heights School District, all four of them. And like I said, we couldn't be in a better community and school district. So we're proud of that. A little bit of background about me. I guess I played three sports in high school. So I went to high school in the Kansas City area. Then I got the opportunity to get a teaching degree at Emporia State. While I was in college, I played football. Also played some basketball. But football was my sport. And then I went on, I got a master's in administration degree at Baker University. So I've been a lifetime learner, education as a coach.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach. So the first question I have is, what made you want to become a teacher and a coach? So what part in your life did you decide you wanted to be a teacher and a coach, and then what made you kind of go down that path?
Well, going back, what I just said in the introduction, I played three sports in high school. I played football, basketball, and baseball. And I loved every single one of them. I loved playing the sports. I loved competing. I loved the interaction with teammates, friends, and I just admired the coaches. Every single day, I didn't have a bad day. I didn't have a bad day at practice. I didn't have a bad day playing the sports. I was real fortunate to be able to play sports at the high school level and be around a lot of men that were good leaders. I had exceptional teachers all the way through. I can't thank, every teacher enough for what they've done for me, but coaches made a big impact on me. What they did is they made me a better person. And I felt like sports, football, basketball, baseball, every single one of those coaches made an impact on me that would make me a better man, and then in the future, a better husband, a better father. And I really admired it. I think what led me to being a coach probably, and I thought about this for a second, was, I can tell you the most amount of 40s we ran in a practice. I can tell you the most amount of gases we ran. I can tell you the most amount of separators, which would be called like a suicide in basketball that we ran, or tiger drills in baseball that we could run. And all of those, a lot of kids see that and they're like, "Whoa, that's punishment. Oh, I don't want to do it." And I always saw it as it was a way for them to either hold us accountable to be our best or to drive us to be our best. And I think those were qualities when I look back and reflected, I saw that purpose, and I admired the purpose of them trying to make me a better person. And I thought, you know what, it'd be an honorable profession to be a part of, to be a teacher and be a coach. So I was a no doubter, and I'm very, I have no regrets. I love what I do every day.
Awesome. Yeah, it's definitely one of those things that I knew early too as well. Like, this is something I want to do. I want to definitely be able to, especially when you don't get to play anymore, you still want to be around the sport, and coaching is definitely one of the ways you can do that. The next question I have is, how do you build positive culture in the weight room and in the football? And then how did that start when you first started has your culture kind of changed throughout the years, or maybe just looks different from year to year?
Yeah, and Matt, you've been a part of it for 17 years, and so you can you can pretty much tell me um, how it's gone when I first got there and how it is now. And there's always several different aspects of starting a program, continuing a program, building a program, and all that. And I think when I was first there, you had to build a culture of what you would accept. What I mean by that is, what are you going to allow the kids to do? Because the kids are going to either challenge you or they're going to want to have guidance of what you're going to accept as a coach. I think that's of any coach. And so you have to set a precedence, and you start, in those formative years when you're building a program. This is how we set the base. This is what we're going to build off of. And you're a little bit tougher, and you're a little bit more strict, and the structure is always there, but the base is, this is a line, this is what we expect, and this is what we'll accept. And so that's how it starts there. And then as you build upon it, what you do is you continue keeping that level of what you accept, but now you don't have to always focus on, are you hustling? Are you doing the right things? Are you on time? Because kids have accepted that's the way it is. So you go to relationships, and you start building that relationship with the kids, and you get to know them. You get to know them from a personal level, not as an athlete, but who they are, who their family is, who their siblings are, what they like to do as a family. What are the tough times in their lives? What are the great times in your life? And by building that relationship, I think what it does, and what we've been fortunate enough to do as coaches, and we have tremendous coaches at Cheyenne Heights and exceptional kids. The kids are tremendous. They have to be the biggest part of this because they're the biggest part of the program. But when you build the relationships, and there's only certain things you'll accept, and that's excellent effort. That's doing the right thing, treating each other with respect. All right. And then giving it the best you can in the weight room and being the best you can be. I think that's how that culture goes. And one of the things I always tell the kids, and I always tell the parents, and I also expect this of the kids, are three questions. And the first one is, do I care about you? I want the kids to answer yes, that I care about them. Okay. And I hope that they do that, because that's why I'm in the profession there. Do I care about you? Am I committed to excellence? I want them to feel like I'm committed to getting them at their highest level and winning or whatever they want to be, reaching that goal. And then can they trust me? Can they trust me that I'm going to try to teach them in the safest way? Can they trust me that I'm going to be honest with them when I tell them what to do? Okay. And if we have that where they feel like I care about them, and they feel like I'm committed myself to excellence, and that they can trust me, that relationship builds. But it's also the same on the other side. And that's what makes culture so great, why the kids are a part of it. You ask, do you care? Do you care about the program? Is this important program? Is this program important to you? What you do outside of practice, what you do outside of games, what you do on social media, what you do as a person. How hard do you practice? Does it show you that you care about the coaches, that you care about Cheyenne Heights? Are you committed to excellence? Are you going to work hard in the weight room? Are you going to give your best effort every day? Are you going to see how good of a person you can be? Whether it's putting away your lunch tray at lunch, being on time in class, right? Do you, are you committed to excellence? And then, can we trust you? Can we trust that if we teach you one way to do it, that you're going to do it that way? Or if we teach us a technique in the weight room, are you going to use that technique? Or if we give you a workout, are you going to follow the workout? Or are you going to be on time? So it's a two-way street. And I think that's what builds that culture, is you got the do I care about you? Do you care about the program? Are you committed to excellence? Am I, as a coach, committed to excellence to helping you? And then the third thing is, do you trust me? Do you trust what I say? Do you trust my words? Do you trust I want what's best for you? Likewise, can I trust you? Can I trust you to give everything you got, to do the right things as a person and make our program better? I think that's why we've had success. If there is success, we've had it both in the weight room and on the football field and in the Cheyenne Heights community. It starts with that culture.
Awesome. I still have anxiety if I'm going to be late somewhere, and I blame you for that. Because I remember just it was like if you weren't there right at time, it was the doors used to be locked. So there was no being late. So I still blame you for that.
Well, I appreciate it. If it
Yep.
helped you be a better person, then I'll take credit. I everybody has a circumstance,
Yep.
in life like that. And I think the one thing that happens is you can draw up excuses, or there are reasons that prevent you from being on time, and it happens. Okay. But you want to push them to know that their time and your time are equally important. If I tell the kids practice is going to start at 2:50 in the film room, then I as a coach need to be there and be ready to go at 2:50. I don't need to walk in at 2:54. Hey, I have something to handle. You know, they have to trust me. I'm going to be on time, and they have to trust them. The one key thing to coaching is you got to have a short memory and a lot of grace. And so while that door may shut on you, Matt, or as you know what we do with the kids, and I
Yep.
and I have them push towels, and there's got to be some type of consequence for actions, good or bad. There's got to be a reward or consequence, because if not, then it doesn't mean anything.
Exactly. And I
I
think
never ever take it personal. I let it go as soon as it's over, and I have to erase it from my brain, because all of us need grace, and none of us are perfect.
yeah, absolutely. And I think that's definitely, it's saying in a joking manner that I will don't think I've been late to much of anything in my life. And that just starts with all the little things you taught me at a young age. And hopefully the kids, some of our kids, if they listen to this, they understand there's a reason behind the 601, the 602. There's a reason behind it, because 602 at work could cost you a job.
No doubt. No. But, everybody's time is equally important.
Awesome. So this podcast is called Every Kid Can Play. So I think something that you do a great job at, and then just almost all Shine Heights coaches do is, there are kids in our football program that football doesn't need. They're not going to be the stud athlete. They're not going to be anything, but you coach them the same. Every kid is coached the same. I wouldn't say can't coach the same, but they all get the coaching that they need. How do you coach the kids that might not be your all-state offensive lineman, or your kids that, as a freshman, you don't know if they're going to be anything as a football player, as a senior, but how do you keep them that positivity and just keep trying to teach every kid in your program, no matter their athletic ability?
Every kid's special, and that could be a downfall for me as a coach, because you got the kids in the classroom that excel, and you're like, give them more work, let's raise them up a bar. And then you got the kids in the middle that are average, and that's good. So you got the 10, the 80, and the 10. Right? And then you got the 10 at the end. That there may not be a lot of buy-in, or there may not be a lot of talent, but they're all special. They're all special to their mom and dads. They're all special to their grandparents. They're all special to us. And you just have to know that every single person is using football for a different avenue. Maybe some is because they like to compete and they like to win. Some may have the aspirations to have a scholarship. Some may like just hanging out with their friends, right? And then some, they want to try something new. Okay, they're not real talented, but they want to be a part of something, and you have to appreciate it. You have to honor it, and you have to treat each one of them the same. There's a reason why they're there. Find the reason and help them become better. And if it's talent-wise, it's talent-wise. If it's understanding the game, it's understand the game. If it's having an enjoyable experience, have an enjoyable experience. But at the end of the day, every single one of us that has the willingness, they're willing to take the risk to play a sport, to put themselves in front of others. You have to honor that. You have to appreciate that. And you have to teach them. They deserve it. Every kid, my kids, I hope every single teacher, every coach loves them, holds them accountable, makes them a better person. And I think that's what every parent expects of us.
Awesome. And, Coach Parks talks about transformational coaching versus transactional coaching. So trying to give them some positive things that football can give them to be better people in life, and not just trying to get, state titles out of them, which the good coaches are transformational coaching.
Without a doubt. I mean, that's why we're in it. We're not, especially at the high school level, you are not in it for wins and losses. You want to win. That's a competitive nature in you, and that's what the kids want. If we want to say, let's commit to excellence, let's commit to excellence. But at the end of the day, when you're looking 10 years down the road, and a kid's successful and he's got a good job and he's doing the right things in life, that you can't be any more happier than you were should they block to someone or make a tackle or catch a touchdown.
Absolutely. So, obviously, a huge part of culture and working with kids is, you obviously can't do it alone. So when you talk about adding coaches to your coaching staff or coaches that are on your coaching staff, what do you look for in adding coaches? Maybe give us some advice to young coaches as they are looking for jobs and what head coaches are looking for.
Sure. So the most important people in this program are the kids. And they're going to be there for 4 years. Hopefully you have them for all 4 years, and hopefully you make an impact on them. That's going to be a lifelong impact where they have had an enjoyable experience. They learned something. And so to me, I look for about 5 things. All right. First thing that I look for are they the integrity. Are they a good person? Are they a good role model? Do they do the right things on and off the field? I think that's important. Do they have positive energy, right? Is their body language there that inspire players? Do they try to make football fun? Third thing is they're a kid magnet. Do the players feel comfortable around them? I think that's really important. Are they a great teacher? Do they keep it simple? You may know a lot about football. You may be successful at football, but can you teach it simply so that they can be successful? And that's hard to do, but I think that's also important. And then a little bit of the X and O knowledges. At Shawnee Heights, you've been a part of the program for many years as a player and as a coach. And I think the things we pride ourselves is the culture starts with the coaches. There are several expectations I have coaches, and you've heard them, and you understand them. And the first thing you do is you leave your ego at the door. Your ego is never a part about it. It's not you. It's your job to serve those kids and make them better. And so by doing the right thing on and off the field, by being there for the kids, by caring for the kids, that's what's more important than any X's and O's. As coaches, when we debate and when we talk about scenarios or different schemes or stuff like that, we've always had a rule. We leave it in the office. We've never once, and I don't think you've ever seen it, and you've been a part of it, have we ever had a coach and another coach argue in front of kids? We don't do that. We don't have any disagreements on kids. We don't have a coach say, "Hey, I do it a different way" behind another coach. All right. We try not to do that ever. If there's disagreements, we try to find a solution collectively. We come to agreement. And then when we hit that field, we're all in it together. And I think that's one of the greatest things about a coaching staff. Well, for us, when we're hiring, I need that type of guy. I need that guy that doesn't have an ego. But I'm competitive and I'm confident. I know what I'm doing and I like to win, coach. That's great. There's not a coach in the world that's not competitive. There's not a coach in the world that's not confident. Believe me, no one ever steps in the ring that's not competitive or not confident. And if you as a coach are willing to put yourself in front of parents, spectators, players, and try to perform and get others to perform, you already have that competitiveness and confidence. So we don't need to see that. What we need to see is that love for the kids, the caring for them, trying to teach them something, and making them better men, right? This has been a hard year for us. And you know that, since last year, and we've always had a good core of teachers. We lost 3 football coaches that had coaching jobs at other schools. Juan Garnhire, excellent coach for us, had an opportunity to further his goal of being a collegiate track coach. And he did that by accepting another job, a head job somewhere else. Brad Nix, an opportunity to be a head football coach at Abilene, and he's going there. And then we just lost Curtis Hamilton to be a baseball coach at Sabetha. So we've lost 3 excellent coaches that are better men than coaches. And I hurt for our kids because I know the impact that they have. But I also know every single hire that we're going to have another guy step up and be an excellent coach that's going to fulfill the desires that we have for these kids, to love them, to care about them, to make them better, to hold them accountable, And we've hired a couple. We got one to go, but I think Coach Duncan, as you've seen, we've taken a lot of pride in that, and that's what I look for. That's what I look for well before whether you can coach a position or draw up a play. As you know, Coach Duncan, I've shuffled you around
Yes,
3 times, haven't I?
yes, sir.
And not one time has it been your strength of a position. And the reason why is because you're a good coach and you're willing to learn, and way you connect with kids makes more of a difference than where your expertise is as a coach. And I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, Coach. Um, so I'm gonna just give you a platform for our student athletes. The first question I have is, obviously we have all this COVID-19 stuff going on, not uncertain, and obviously this is a summertime for new things, learning how to coach differently, learning how to do things differently. What advice do you have just for our student athletes and just student athletes in general about, this summertime and going through this crazy times right now?
Oh, if the world was like a football team.
Yes, sir.
Um, so started 2020, January 2nd, we lost my mother-in-law, and she was an incredible woman, mother, supporter, myself, her family, Cheyenne's football, whatever it is, unconditionally. When you lose someone like that, it's obviously hard. And I don't think we've caught our breath since then. We've walked into COVID, and we've hit this coronavirus, and it's been hard. And it's been hard for several reasons. And the first reason was the health of people. There's a lot of people that live with people in their family that may have their immune system may not be as well as it could be, or they're older, and what you're doing is you're putting a lot of loved ones at risk, and you're worried about your kids, and you're worried about your kids' families, and you're worried about your family, and you're worried about so many people and the health risk from there. And then you go to the spring sport, and you think about every one of those kids that waited for the opportunity to play their senior year, to have that last chance to see how great they could be. Some may have been playing for an opportunity scholarships, and hopefully talent-wise they're found and they get a scholarship. But some of them knew that come June, their life was going to change. Whether it's military, workforce, college, but sports was not going to be longer a part of their lives. And as you and I value sports and the impact it's made on us, I don't know how we would have felt had we had that taken away from us. And so as a teacher, as a coach, as someone that loves, admires, and wants the best for the kids, it was heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking. Even if you're a junior, sophomore, freshman, you don't want that. You don't want it taken away from you. You work hard. You deserve the opportunity. A lot of kids that go to school, they go to school because they play sports. For me, sports made me a better person because I had coaches that held me accountable, the coaches that looked after me. And in turn, I did the right things in school and I got better grades, and I'm thankful for that. But if I didn't have sports and I didn't have those coaches, what direction would I have gone? Well, those kids are no different than I, or some of them. Some of them are a lot better than I am. A lot of them are. And they get the chance to, be all right with it. But there's a lot of kids that was a special season for them. It's something that they had waited for, and they lost. And you feel terrible about it. And then we're going into it this year. And we're going into the fall, and we're hoping we have sports. And in July, we'll know more. But I can tell you this. With school being gone that last 9 weeks, with sports being out of the kids' lives, it hurt them. It hurt them socially. It hurt them emotionally. They may not have known the impact, but I know the impact. One, because I got my own kids. Two, I talk to our kids on the football team, and when they make statements like "I'm praying for the season to happen," then you know it's important. But here's the thing that really showed me, and you know this. We had our first day of weights, right? First day of weights, 6 in the morning. We haven't seen these kids. We got the scare of the COVID-19. Everybody is leery of what we're going to do. And what did we have at 6 a.m. when we started? We had 75 kids at that first session. That told me right there, the kids need it. They need school. They need that sports. They need interaction with their friendships. I mean, things that we take for granted when we were in high school was taken away from them. And this whole summer, this past 5 weeks, they've been phenomenal. And they've been great. And they do everything we ask. And why? Is because I think they have a little bit more appreciation than they did 15, 16 weeks ago, when they thought, hey, baseball season's coming up. Let's have a great season. Now they're like, what can we do? And so what we got to do, COVID-19, coronavirus, what we got to do to have a good fall, we got to have luck. Okay, but then we got to do the right things. And if everyone asks, our county says we're all wearing a mask, and we're practicing good hygiene, and we spray down and we disinfect, and we wipe down, and we continue to do what's been asked of us to do, then it's given us a chance. And I think that's where that football team comes to, Matt, is they got to say, look, we're all in it together. Don't say, I'm not going to get sick. I shouldn't worry about it. Think about it this way. Think about the grandmas. Think about the parents that want to come to the games and watch their kids and may get denied from that. Think about that sport being canceled. And while we may stay healthy and you think you may be immune to it, you could cost that opportunity. And I don't think any of us want it just the way it is from what happened this spring, in the spring season. So that's been tough. And with racism and hate and inequality that's at the forefront right now. I guess you said, what's some of the advice that you would give the student athletes? It's no different than we do in our football program, right? We break it off on family. And we talk about loving each other, and you got to love each other. And when you love someone, there's that acceptance, and then there's the accountability, and then there's the compassion. We need it. We need it. We need it from every single person. In a locker room, you're going to stand up for the next guy. He's your brother. He's your teammate. You sweat, you grind, you bleed, you cry for that guy next to you. You go to workouts for that guy next to you. You do the right things outside of football field for that guy next to you. And I think it has to carry on, and it's going to carry on. We're seeing great things happen, but the how we handle racism, hate, here's a good example. When I was in high school, I was fortunate enough to be a captain of a football team. And our football class, looked each other in the eyes and committed, we will not drink during the season. And we did not. And that was we are going to go through the season. There will not be alcohol in our season. And that's something that we committed to as a senior class. Well, as a captain, and if I saw a kid drinking, a teammate, or at a party, or he was at a party, I did not say anything. And that was my fault, because here's the difference. I was like, well, I'm not doing it. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, right? So I'm supposed to be not drinking, not going to parties. So I'm doing what's right. But was I a good teammate? Was I holding other people accountable? Was I saying something? So what I've learned in this time is, my mom and dad said, you see everybody the same. Everyone's the same. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Treat everybody equally. And that's the way I taught. And that's the way I've thought all the way through. But what I'm learning through this tough time, and maybe it's an example for the kids, and I'm drawing it back because as a high school athlete, as a teammate, I could have stood up and said something and didn't. But now we're at a time where you got that racism, and you got that hate, and you got those terrible things that are happening to other people. Don't be like I was and say, well, you know what? I'm not doing the wrong thing. I'm not saying anything wrong. I'm not being racist. I'm not, hate. I'm not, but instead, stand up with your teammate, love your teammate, stand for your teammate, be a part of a saying, that's not right. I won't accept it. And I think that's going to help us. And that's what we do in the locker room. I tell you what, Shining Heights is amazing. And then have compassion, understand, as a coach, I think I look at every kid and, you and I, we talk and we say, the kid as a person. Every kid has a battle that we don't see. It could be that they're living with their grandparent. It could be that a health issue with a family member, a financial issue. It could be a parent, in jail. There's so many different things that we don't know what's going on about the kid because they don't show it. But once we do, then we have that compassion for them. You're like, that kid has to watch his brother all night. He has to babysit him. He has to work. And you take that into, in your thoughts when you're dealing with the kid. Well, I think the inequality has to be another issue too, that we have to understand, what? It's not all the same. Understand that too. Well, just like we do with a parent, that one parent household or, abusive family, or they don't have a car. We also have to look at it, he's an African American, he's a Hispanic, whatever you want to talk about, you have to put that also in your thought process. I think if kids do that, that's what I recommend. But the one thing in the last 5 weeks have been incredible. But one of the coolest things is Shawnee Heights is like the best melting pot in the world, because kids come in and they're different races, and we just accept them. And I'm not saying coaches, I'm saying kids have them. And I don't know if it's like that at every school, but it is at Shawnee Heights. And the kids do it the right way. And so when I said at the start, boy, if the world was like football team, I'm probably talking like the Shawnee Heights football team. Again, it's not us, it's the kids. And I'm exceptionally proud to be a part of Shawnee Heights. And I know our kids are going to keep doing it. So I love them. And I know their kids love each other. And that's what's great about football, sports, Shawnee Heights.
Awesome. Yeah, you said it all, Coach, for sure. I kind of want to shift a little bit. Just you've had a lot of kids play college sports or gone out and wanting to get a scholarship for in college to play football or golf or whatever. And what advice do you have to kids who possibly want to go beyond high school and be able to play sports collegiately?
Sure. Great question. Here's what every coach is going to look at. They're going to look at your grades first. All right. They're going to look at see if you have good grades, if you qualify, but more importantly, how you do in those core classes. Because what you do in high school and the grades reflect who you are as a person. And if you're coming in with D's and F's and C's, or they may see that as not just that you struggle in school, but that you may be lazy or not a hard worker in classroom. Second thing they're going to wonder is if they can trust you. And what I mean by trust you is, are you going to do the right things? They may ask the custodian, does he throw away his lunch? Put away his lunch tray. Is he on time to class? Is he respectful to the teacher? They may ask, give me an incident when he helped another kid. And the reason why they're going to want those two things is it doesn't matter what your ability is. They're going to evaluate if you can help them win. So that you have no control of. At the end of the day, they're going to want to know, can they count on you that you're going to go to class, you're going to get good grades, because they don't want to chase you around and they don't want to have you focusing on school because you can't do both because you're not a strong student. The second thing is they're going to trust you. They want to know that because you're wearing that university, that community college on your shirt, that you're representing them, that you're going to do the right thing, whether it's in person, whether it's at school, whether it's social media. They want to know that they're going to be able to trust you. As you see right now, some kids are losing scholarships just because of what they post on social media, right? And so if they can count on you that you're going to go to class, get good grades, and that you're going to do the right things as a person, then they're going to evaluate, can you help us win? And that's what college is all about. They want to be able to be successful because their lives, unlike yours and I's, who's majority teaching, is winning. You can't control if you can help them win or not. That's their decision. But you sure can help them with your grades, and you can sure help them by doing the right things. Now, what are some things you can do outside of that? You can play multiple sports. Coaches love multiple sport athletes. You can volunteer. When it shows a list of different things you volunteered for, that looks good. That looks like you're a server, and servers are leaders. Those are things that we ask for in today's world, right? And then go show them you can play. How can you know that I help you win? Make a huddle highlight film, right? And put the 10 best plays on it. The first 10 plays are your 10 best. But then also remember this. They're going to watch the fourth quarter of a blowout game, whether you're winning or losing, and they're going to wonder how you play during that fourth quarter when the game doesn't matter and it's been decided. So in the back of your head, do that. And if you really want exposure and you got a college you'd like to attend to, go to their camp, go to their prospect camp. Now, it's a little hard this summer with the COVID and all that, but, if KU is the place you want to go play at, KU offers something, go be there. Get in front of them. One of the greatest things Wyatt Hubert ever did is he put himself in front of Kansas State. Now, we know he could play, and we knew he could be incredible at that level. But he made sure to take care of business in school, as a person, and then give himself as most exposure as he can with his play, and then being in front of Kansas State has worked out great.
Awesome. Great. That's great advice for sure. So I just got a few fun wrap-up questions, and then we'll wrap this up. So the first one is, do you have? You've coached for 18 years. Do you have a favorite moment in coaching so far?
Yeah. Yeah. No, not specifically. The roundabout every coach's answer is probably what I said before. When I see a kid 10 years down the road outside of coaching, and they're thankful for playing football, and they're doing wonderful things in life, whether they're a father, whether they're a husband, whether they're an employee, whether they're serving or leading in the military. Those are things that drive me. Wins and losses, wins are okay. Losses sting. But when you get a card from a kid, there isn't one card that I haven't got from a kid that I haven't kept. That's a nice, wonderful, thoughtful card, because those I'll read 100 times. Not because I need to pat myself on the back, but because of how much I love the kid. But if I had to pick a win, and I think when we're later on and I'm retired, I'm going to look back and enjoy it. It's too bad I'm not enjoying the journey right now. But I would say our first playoff win against Turner, they were an 8-1 team, and we came into their place. First round, we beat them. Playing Pittsburgh down in Pittsburgh was one of the greatest games I've ever seen a team play. The experience, I'm getting chills. Just when we were at Pitt State, and we were pre-gaming it 3 hours before the game. You looked at those kids' eyes. As coaches, we looked at each other and we're like, this is going to be a special night. We've never seen a team as focused, as ready as they were then. So those are special. I coached in the Shrine Bowl. I'm going to coach my third time as a head coach, and we won in 2013. Those are special. When I look back, there's going to be plenty of them. I'm going to look back and really enjoy it. But those are the first three come to mind.
Awesome. If you had to, what is your favorite book, like for coaching outside, nothing coaching? What is a favorite book that you would recommend for me to read?
Outside of coaching or
It could
coaching?
be coaching or outside. One, your favorite book.
Those are good questions. I think as a coach, I think we had talked about this earlier. I think you really need to, you need to keep making yourself better. You need to advance yourself. The game is safer than it's ever been. The game is faster than it's ever been. It's more creative than it's ever been. And so as coaches, you got to constantly learn. I have so many books, um, but they all do something for me, whether it's scheme wise, whether it's leadership wise, whether it's motivation wise. They're tremendous. But my favorite probably is a book that I received this 20 years ago from Bill Walsh. It's called Finding the Winning Edge, and it goes over how to run an NFL program. Now, I'm not going to run an NFL program. It'd be wonderful, but to see the ins and outs of the entire NFL program. But Bill Walsh wrote it. My brother played for 49ers, and he was GM at the time. He had Bill Walsh personally sign it and send it to me. And so it's a special gift from there. The rest of the time is pretty much faith-based, just spiritually stuff. Adam Hamilton, I love his books. He's a pastor in Overland Park. And then Tony Dungy, what he's taken on with Uncommon, Quiet Strength. I read his daily Uncommon Life book. Both of those guys really hit home. And the reason why they hit home to me spiritually is because I can relate to them. And it's no different than coaching. It's no different than teacher. If you can relate to them, you're going to enjoy it. But as a husband, as a father, as a man, as a coach, as a guy that loves the game of football, those two do a tremendous job.
The last one I got for you is, what is, outside of football, what is your favorite hobby to do?
Whew.
I know you don't get much outside of football.
Well, yeah, but I'm very blessed. It is a privilege to coach sports. Not everyone gets the opportunity, understandable, but I do. I have an incredible wife, and I have incredible children that support me, and they allow me to do what I'm passionate about, and that's coach. And it's a lot of time. And so you're right. My hobbies, my family. I love it. Well, one, I got 3 girls, and they keep me young. Yesterday we went fishing. Yesterday we went swimming. Today we went fishing. So if there's an opportunity, it's hang out and do something nice with them, because there's a lot of time that's taken away, and my family allowed me to do that. I have to understand that football may be my hobby. So family's got to come before that. So that opportunity. But if it's a dream world, probably go to a Royals game. We love going to Royals games as a family. We love going to movies. Both of those aren't working. When we vacation, we look for minor league parks. We look for teams that are playing at minor league parks. We go find a minor league baseball game. So those are the kind of things that we like to do. And, as I get older, as the kids get older, maybe it's going to be golfing. Maybe it is going to be a fishing. I need to practice. So football.
Awesome.
Football is my hobby.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, I appreciate it. Do you have anything you want to say to anybody before we end this thing?
No, I apologize. I'm so long-winded. There's a lot of tough times that's going on, and I talked about it earlier, and there's a lot of fear. It doesn't matter what your fear is. There's fear, and you have to understand that. It's what are you going to do about it? And you got to be an optimist right now. First, believe in yourself, love yourself, believe in your family, love your family, believe in your friends, love your friends, believe in a stranger, love your stranger. We got to do this all together, but we got to be optimistic, and you can't have doubts that we're just too strong. We're too strong as humans. We're too strong as a society. We're too strong as a nation. We're too strong as a world. Man, we're going to make this a better place, but we got to do it together, and loving each other. That's the first step. Doing what's right, holding each other accountable, having grace, compassion. Those are the main things. Winners and losers, that shouldn't be a part of the big picture of life. Let's just do it all together. Let's make the second half of 2020 be a heck of a comeback. All right, we're down right now. Let's finish this season, this year, great. I appreciate your time. I appreciate the opportunity. You do a tremendous job, Matt. Uh, I value you as a friend, as a coach, as a man. I've enjoyed coaching you. I've enjoyed coaching with you, and I love you.
Love you too, Coach. Appreciate everything. Guys, this has been Every Kid Can Play podcast. A reminder, every kid deserves the right to play.